Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to be explaining the top 3 reasons that I understand from talking to you through coaching in Discord why you're stuck in the same rank slash skill level, right? So in Valorant there's a lot of things that can hold you back, but I'm going to be touching on for sure 3 of the top ones in this video. So the first one is going to be that you simply do not play enough. Now this might sound so simple, but again, there's not an exact amount of time that you need to play in order to rank up, but it kind of depends on one, your goals, and two, where you currently are, and it depends on other things as well, but those things are probably most important to determine how much you really need to play. So what is your goal? Do you want to make it to Immortal? Okay, so if you want to make it to Immortal, you need to be playing a lot more than someone that wants to make it from Iron to Silver, right? To make it from Iron to Silver is not going to take that long. Similarly, going from Gold to Plat is not really going to be that hard in the long term. However, going from like Gold to Immortal is going to take some time, okay? So this means you're going to need to play. I'll just give you guys some numbers. If you want to go from like Gold to Immortal, again, I don't know the exact numbers on this, but you're probably going to want to play like at least 5 to 10 games per day. 5 games is going to be kind of short, kind of a few. It also depends how quickly you want to reach those goals. If you want to reach those goals really quickly, you're going to need to play like 10 to 20 games, depending on where you're starting from. Now, if you want to go from just Iron to Gold, then you could play, a few games, 2 to 5 games a day. And as long as you're really focusing on what you're doing wrong, eventually, over time, it might take a while, you're going to hit Gold. So this is one of the #1 things. A lot of people simply don't play. It's not that they don't play enough Valorant, it's they don't play enough comp. You need to play competitive, right? You need to play competitive, not unrated. So this is #1. Make sure that you're playing enough. You can determine from, what your goals are, where you are, but also what you do in life. Like if you're a student, if you're very busy, obviously you're gonna want to set probably more realistic goal, not like, okay, I'm gonna full-time this and full-time that and full-time that. You want to kind of set realistic goals, which can be very useful. So guys, moving on to the second thing that holds you back significantly and it keeps you stuck where you are, it's gonna be your mentality, right? If you guys clicked on this video, you're probably expecting me to say this, but it's just because it's true. And I think most of us kind of understand that mentality is a very important aspect of a competitive game, competitive sport, of anything competitive that you want to win and want to improve at. And really just wanting to improve at anything, anywhere in life, you need to have a good mindset. You need to have a good frame of mind, a good perspective, a good approach. And if your approach is skewed, or like if it's bad, if you're, if it's not ideal, then it's going to hold you back. So what are some examples of negative or bad or poor mentalities in Valorant? Well, one is the obvious kind of negative, pessimistic, trash talking teammate. So try not to be like that for starters. And if you cannot be like that, that's going to put you ahead of a lot of people, especially in the middle ranks like Plat / Diamond / even Immortal. But not only that, we want to a big shift in your mindset is you want to see failure and mistakes as learning opportunities, not as just mistakes or failures and like, oh, I suck. You don't want to just chalk it off as you suck. You want to see those as opportunities, and you want to think, how can I improve from these mistakes that I'm making, or from this failure, or from this loss, or from this whatever, from this huge loss streak? What am I doing wrong? How can I learn? Right? Not just kind of ignoring them, not just pushing them off, because there's value in every mistake that you make. And if you're unable to see the value of the mistakes that you're making, then it's going to keep you stuck where you are. This is very important, and this all goes back, like I said, to mentality. The way that you're intending to go into the game, the way that you're thinking with your mind going into the game is going to heavily determine how quickly you rank up, right? So, and how quickly you improve. If you have a strong mentality, it's going to really help. And this also kind of bleeds into our third and final tip, which is going to be aim training, right? And consistent practice, basically. Not just aim training. I talk a lot about aim training. Not a lot, but sometimes I talk about aim training. Aim training is important, but this also just ties into practice and kind of just, watching people that are better than you play and getting a better understanding of, one, what agent, like how to better play your agent, how to better use their abilities, how to better push certain maps, what maps are you bad at, what maps are you good at, what are your weaknesses, what are your strengths. If you know your strengths are very strong, stop strengthening your strong strengths and start strengthening your weaknesses, okay? and slowly like start at the very bottom of what you're weakest at and work your way up until you're just at like slightly weak things. And then once you get all of the weak things kind of strong, then you can start working on your strengths. And then that way you're going to be just an overall well-rounded player. And you know, this can be, you know, so for example, your one of your weaknesses might be aim training. You might not aim train. Your aim might be really bad. However, your aim might be your biggest strength, which means you don't need to put more time into that thing, right? You need to put more time into things that you're weak at. Maybe you're weak in comms. Maybe you're weak in knowing what to do, where to push, asking your team to rotate, communication. Maybe you're weak in these things instead of aiming. Or maybe you're weak in aiming and you're good in those things, right? And maybe there's like a million variations of all of the different ways you can be weak and strong at things. But what you need to focus on is what you can improve on most, or at least you have to be brutally honest with yourself, what you can improve on for yourself most. Pick those things and really just laser focus on them, right? For maybe just like a few days, for a week, until you feel like, okay, well, I'm actually getting better at this. You know, I'm actually communicating. My teammates are listening. It feels like I'm actually kind of, I understand the flow of the game now. I know how to rotate. I know when to rotate. My aim's getting better, so I'm going to stop aim training as much, but I'm still going to aim train. And yeah, guys, so these are the 3 things. Hopefully, these are all very valuable, very important. Make sure that you're playing enough. Make sure your mentality is good. And make sure that you know what your weaknesses and strengths are, okay? That's basically the last step, is just understand your strengths and your weaknesses, and try to better your weaknesses before bettering your strengths further. And once you feel like all your weaknesses are stronger at least, you can work on some of those strengths, some of those strong strengths, if that makes sense. So anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Trying to post a little bit for you guys. You know, love you guys. See you again soon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and peace.